Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Okay, let's do some play-in stuff, DJ. Let's start with the Eastern Conference. We'll talk about the Hawks, Magic, Heat, and Bulls. And just, I wanted to ask this question. I didn't prep you for this, so you might have to just like think about it for a second. Totally fine. So these are the play-in teams. They're 7 through 10. Which one of those teams between the Hawks, Magic, Heat, and Bulls would you want to be moving forward? Not just this season, but beyond this season.
I still think the Magic. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
I
with
I
you.
still feel they're a much better team than what you've seen this year, which is, we're going to go into the picks a little bit, but there's someone that they got good potential both this year and the upcoming years.
Yeah, I agree. I think they just need to add shooting, so I'm with you on that. What about the team you'd least want to be moving forward between the Hawks, Heat, and Bulls?
Probably the Bulls, just because they don't seem to have any sort of direction with anything at all, and they haven't given me a reason to trust their choices and trades or drafts or really anything at this point.
Fair point, and I agree. I would have the Bulls there as well. Okay, let's talk about the Hawks and Magic. So this is the seventh and eighth seed in the Eastern Conference. Going at it. Now, whoever wins gets to be the seventh seed, and whoever loses has to play the winner of the Heat and the Bulls. So the Hawks are 17th in offensive rating and 18th in defensive rating, and the Magic are 27th in offensive rating and second in defensive rating. So how do you think who do you got winning this game, DJ?
Well, first of all, let me just say, if I'm the Magic, do you want to lose? Because if you win, you're going to get crushed by the Celtics. But if you lose and you win the second game, I think they could give the Cavaliers a little bit of a run, especially with their size at forward. I think they'd have a big advantage over the Cavs with that. But anyways, um, I would say the Magic are going to win this simply because they dealt with a lot of injury over the year, and finally they've basically had their starters back since like the middle of March. And at least from what I've seen the last like 2 to 3 weeks, they seem to actually kind of be coming into form now that they're actually all playing together. So I'm kind of like sweeping most of the season under the rug for them and looking more at what I saw last year and what I saw at the end of this year. And then you look at some of the matchups. The Hawks, I don't think they're big enough to handle the Orlando's forwards. I think they're going to struggle stopping them and even scoring against them on the offensive side. And now that said, another matchup that favors the Hawks is Joseph isn't going to stand much of a chance against Trey Young. And Trey Young can be a game wrecker, but that's not something that's going to win you 4 out of 7 games. But overall, I just think Orlando's their roster's better. They've been, like I say, they've been playing like the Hawks have been the same basically all year, where I feel like Orlando's like on an upswing. So I'd give them the advantage in this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Orlando as well. I just think their defensive physicality, they're bigger. The weird thing about Corey Joseph being a starting point guard still in the NBA is kind of crazy to me. But if they don't have to necessarily rely on him, he probably won't cover Trey Young. I imagine
Okay.
KCP will probably cover Trey Young instead of Corey Joseph. It's hard to cover Trey Young. I do like what the Hawks are doing. I like that Zachary. I'm gonna butcher his last name. I'm just gonna call him Zachary. I was practicing before the podcast, and I can't remember how. Ricochet, I think is how you say it. But I'm a big fan of some of the. He's shown flashes, him and Dyson Daniels. So I'm actually like, if I'm a Hawks fan, I'm really excited about the future with this team moving forward a little bit. I think they're finally finding a team to form around someone like Trey Young, which is good. But this is a one and done game, and I just think the defense that I don't know how, I, and they're just going to pick on Trey Young all game. I imagine that he's going to be in so many pick and rolls where he's going to be have to switch on to. They're just so much bigger, so I'm gonna pick the Magic to win as well. Okay, so we both have the Magic. Let's look at the other game then. We have the Heat, who are the 22nd offensive rated team, and then the 9th defensive rated team, and then the playing against the Bulls, who's the 20th offense and the 19th defensive ranked team. I find this game personally to be kind of like okay. But anyway, who do you have winning this game?
I'm gonna pick the Heat. Now both of these teams, I have to say, have been kind of surprising recently. The Heat have been 8-4 in their last 12. Adebayo's starting to look more like his all-star version of himself. The Bulls have been 15-5 since March 6th, so they've been playing really well. Now, Heroes really stepped it up now that they finally got Butler kind of, out of the way.
Yeah.
He's been averaging almost 28 points a game, 5 assists, shooting for like 48% from three. Adebayo's been getting 21 points a game, 18 rebounds. So, I mean, the overall rosters are like relatively close. Of course, besides like Adebayo, like the Bulls don't have anybody like that. But when you just look at the experience of who's left on the Heat, the core of that team, along with Spoelstra, I mean, that alone, gives them the upper hand. The Bulls are playing better than what they've been playing most of the year, but they just don't have enough experience or talent to run with the Heat, I don't think.
So you think the Heat are gonna win? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because I know that both these teams have been playing better and some flashes, but when I think of these two teams, I think of like just what do they have to look forward to?
They're both rebuilding.
Yeah.
They really, I don't think either of them want to be like in this, they weren't fighting to get in a play-in spot. They're both just kind of like rebuilding and finishing out the year, but it's like this is where they're at, so they're going to play the game and see what happens. But whoever wins is obviously going to get going to get beat pretty bad in the actual series.
Yeah, so whoever wins this game will end up playing the Hawks, right? So I'm with you. I think I'll pick the Heat as well, just because of the veteran experience, like as far as Wiggins, Bam Adebayo, Hero, all those guys have been in like big playoff games. So, and then you have Spoelstra, who also has, where I just feel like, I don't know, the the Bulls, they have a couple guys who've been in playoff games, but not people that you're usually relying on. Like Giddy, even though he was in Oklahoma, he got phased out in the playoffs last year, right? White, he hasn't got a lot of big game experience. Herder, I think they played one playoff series. So I think I'm with you. I'm gonna go with the Heat. I'm gonna go with Heat culture on this, and I'm gonna say that Bam Adebayo, Andrew Wiggins, Tyler Hero, they figure out a way to win, and they will play the Hawks. That means.
So that'll be an interesting game. Who do you got in that one?
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna pick the Hawks. I think the Hawks will get the win, and they will play the what are they called, the Cavs. And the reason why I'm going to pick the Hawks is I think Trae Young will go off in one of these two games because that's what Trae Young does. Like he'll have a 36-point game in one of these two. I think he'll be kind of held in check in the first game because of the defense that the Magic are capable of. But I think in the second game they're going to be he'll kind of be unleashed. I like the defense, like the fact that Dyson Daniels might be guarding Hero, that and just like he's a straight jacket on defense. He's one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. And then you also have Wiggins as an option. I just think like the defensive options for the Hawks to guard Hero, and if you could take Hero out of the game for Miami, it's a lot of Bam Adebayo, and I'm not sure he will be capable of like getting a win all on his own. So I'm gonna pick the Hawks.
Nice. Yeah, I don't think either result would surprise me. If I had to pick a team, I'd say the Heat, just because they're that pesky team that's just is always going to be there to irritate you. And I don't know. I think they just, with their experience and their coaching, they're going to find a way to win those one game elimination games, and they'll find their way into the playoffs and the A seed.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that either. Okay. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.